Our basic design was modeled after traditional dragsters. So you can see this with like the large back wheels we have and the smaller front wheel. And most of the weight of our car is in the back, and the front is like lighter and more aerodynamic. The only problem we did have with this is that our center of mass is far back here. So when we tested at higher angles, the car was tipping a lot and would hit the top of the tube. So we weren't able to run at those angles.
Mhm.
A solution to this might be spreading out the weight more.
Yeah. One thing that a lot of groups had issues with was their car would like rotate around the tube, and luckily for us, because well, not too much luck, but our car was a lot longer, and that kept it kind of from rotating as much. So, one thing you have to be careful of is that the wheels, because the tube is about 4 inches in diameter, you have to take into account the wheel diameter when planning out how short to cut your axle. One thing that helped us a lot with traction is adding these rubber bands to the outer section of the wheels, because that just gave us a lot more friction and a lot more traction when running. So
One thing we did think to include is we created a clear box in the back to keep the motor system secure. We did have to remove the sides of the box though to prevent interference with the axles. And we also have like an easy accessible part for our switch, so that makes running a lot easier. We also, again, we did have problems fitting into the tube at first, so that involved us cutting the axle. We also had to shorten this part right here because we didn't take into account like the lift from the wheels. So that is definitely something that you want to model beforehand.